Oh yes, guys, welcome to another episode. And look at Solana. Solana is going parabolic. Solana is moving higher and higher and higher, almost at 240. Then it's gonna move towards 250. So everything is according to plan. We said that the next target is 250, and from there it will move even higher. Why? Because it's only now that we're starting to see momentum in TradFi. Momentum in TradFi media. For example, Mike Novogratz is speaking in TradFi media now. You also have a Kyle Samani, or Solami as he's called now, because he's doing Solana treasury company, so that's why he's called Solami. I will show you. And by the way, I'm doing this video now a bit short because we did a whole stream about it this morning, but YouTube banned it. They banned it. I don't know why. We speak about many topics on each live stream, so it's a bit hard to know exactly what triggered the ban, but they said it's harmful content. I don't know what it is, but let me just quickly give you a short summary of the stream, because I know many people, they cannot survive the day without Good Morning Crypto. I already now have like 50 emails telling me, hey Ivan, what happened to the stream? Where is the stream? Guys, here is the summary, here is the gist of it. So Solana is moving higher, and what is the trigger? The trigger is that you do have now the Tom Lee effect, but for Solana. Listen carefully here to Mike Novogratz. He came out yesterday on CNBC. He spoke about that he is now all in Solana. Listen.
You know, why Solana at this moment? Total transactions per second Solana can do in a day is 14 billion. That's more than total transactions on equities, fixed income, commodities, and foreign exchange, right? And so you've got a blockchain that's now fast enough, tailor-made to be the blockchain for financial markets. And you got an SEC chair saying, I want you to build on chain. And so those two things are lining up. I'm calling this the season of Sol. Right behind us, you've got Dan Moorhead, who's coming with a Sol fund, a Sol treasury company. You know, why Solana at this moment?
So basically, you have the Tom Lee story happening now in real time, the Tom Lee strategy, but the tech actually makes sense because Solana, as you can see, Mike Novogratz is saying, it can actually run NASDAQ, it can run all of this different tech, and it has enough transactions per second and daily transactions to handle all of it. Look here at the Kyle Samani, who is now leading this DAT, Digital Asset Treasury, which is listed on NASDAQ, recently got listed on NASDAQ, and he's explaining it as well. Listen to this.
I picked Solana 8 years ago. Multicoin as a firm is very famous for having invested in the Solana seed round all the way back in early 2018. We have continually increased our investment in Solana over that time. I've written about Solana on our website extensively. And we made the investment all the way back dating 7 or 8 years ago because we understood the vision for internet capital markets to trade every asset in the world on one global unified ledger. And we saw the opportunity for Solana's technology strategy to be the one that would get there. And, you know, the Solana blockchain today is 5.5 years old, and it has now proven that it is the most performant blockchain in the world that can handle settling global securities markets. For some context on that, the Solana blockchain can process 14 billion transactions per day, and that's enough to settle all global securities markets, not just NYSE, not just NASDAQ. You could take LSE, you could take Singapore, Hong Kong, Australia, every securities market around the world, and you could settle them on Solana at its current capacity today.
And that's based on current capacity. You know that there is a whole roadmap, and I will link the video here, Solana roadmap 2025-2026, which will expand that even further. So that's the first piece of news I really wanted to share with you, that Solana is now having its own Tom Lee moment. I think that for Solana is going to be more powerful and more impactful on the price, because just since they started to speak, you know, yesterday the price was like 220 or something like that. Now it's 240, so 10% pump in just that period of time. Why? Because number one, so most of Solana is staked, so there are not many coins circulating. But number two, also because the story makes sense. With ETH, you have 20 transactions per second and all of these different L2s. And at the end of the day, the story is interesting. Like, it sounds nice in theory that ETH is going to run NASDAQ, but in practice, it simply does not work. I mean, as soon as you start trying to make something work, it simply does not work. And Galaxy, who, by the way, tokenized their stock on Solana, they said this is, these are the reasons why they didn't do on L2. Listen to this.
To me, a single sequence rollup with capability to either through negligence or malice impact the settlement fees or trading of a security, that looks a lot like NASDAQ to me. And NASDAQ is heavily regulated to ensure that it doesn't negatively impact those shareholders. And in the case that it does, whether by negligence or malice, there is recourse. And it happens accidentally all the time, broken trades and stuff. There are rules around compensating those affected. So I think until layer 2s are either more decentralized, Ethereum rollups, I should say, again, specifically optimistic rollups, are either more decentralized, where there is no single party to hold responsible in the case of some kind of problem with the securities trade, or they register and are subjected to significant oversight to ensure that if there are problems, they can be rectified. I don't think Ethereum L2s are ready for tokenized stocks, and that played into our decision to look specifically at layer 1 blockchains, and we picked Solana as the first place. To me,
So basically what he's saying is that L2s, they're too centralized. You have one single sequencer in most cases, and this means that in case there's some issue, that sequencer will be held accountable. You will basically have the same situation as you have now in the NASDAQ stock market, that some company, some entity is running the market, running the software, they're responsible. If something goes wrong, they will be held accountable. That leads obviously to them having to censor you, do KYC, do all kinds of stuff, because otherwise they're liable. And that's a big difference to something like Sol, where it's decentralized and you can do anything and there's no single party that is accountable, meaning that you have true decentralization and you have true internet capital markets. So that's what he's saying. Now also, let's switch gears a bit. I just want to tell you why it's so important to have a process and not trust your gut with the market, because your gut will let you down, you will get wrecked. Some days ago, I think it was last week, someone asked me, hey Ivan, what do you think about Ansem? Because Ansem said that he thinks we have topped, okay? Now Ansem is a good guy on Twitter, like he's a good guy, but for the past 8 months or so, he's been saying that we have topped, and it's been fully wrong. It's been wrong all the time. Now people are making fun of him a bit here, you know, may I interest you in selling all your coins to me right before the most explosive rally we've ever seen? Now he's taking it in a good way, but he has been fully wrong with guessing when the top will be, and the conclusion here is do not guess. Instead, get the money line so you know the trend. If the trend is bullish, you're bullish. If the trend is bearish, you start to become bearish. This is the same thing people ask me, hey Ivan, when is top gonna be? Is it going to be in Q4, Q2? Listen, just look at the trend. Keep it simple. And if you don't have the money line, you're not part of our Bullmania community, use the link below to join the waitlist for it, because in the waitlist, you will be then notified when we open the next cohort, which should be at the end of September, and you will be able to get the money line, our education, and all of that, and be working directly with me for your training and your trading and all of that. If you're interested to join, use the link below for the waitlist, because it just shows you people that have some feeling, gut instinct, this and that something's gonna happen. It's wrong. It's always wrong. It just leads you to emotional trading, to overtrading, to also bias. You become biased. Here, for example, is the tweet that he said, my gut is saying we have topped. And this is from September, but he was also bearish in, like, throughout this whole year, he's been bearish. Now, he's amazing. I love Ansem, but the point here is that you should not just read what the hell someone is saying. You need to have a system. The system that is more mechanical, that tells you when to buy, when to sell based on certain limits, levels, and in our case, we're looking at the money line. Now, guys, let's switch gears a bit. I want to remind you that the reason why Solana is pumping now is because we are moving from phase 2 of the market into phase 3, from ETH into large caps. And looking at different large caps, we have to give big shout out to BNB. We've been bullish on BNB. BNB has been doing so well, pushing higher and higher. It's so nice to see. Obviously, Binance is massive. Obviously, they're using their revenues to pump the coin as well. But that's fantastic. So big shout out. Also, I would say Hyperliquid, I would also count it as a large cap. It's a bit on the smaller side for large cap, but still it's basically large cap, and is also doing so well now, breaking through this fib resistance right here, moving higher. The next resistance for Hyperliquid, now that we have broken 55 confidently, is going to be this 65. We still need to close the week here above 55, but the next fib is at 65. That's good. Also, looking at the next coins that the money will rotate into once we go into alt season. If we look at the Sol ecosystem in particular, you have a few to keep an eye on. So in terms of memes, you have Bonk. As you can see, it's still in a bull trend. You have Fortcoin. It's still in a bull trend, very similar to Bonk in terms of chart. So both of them are bouncing. They don't really have their time yet to shine. They will shine in phase 4. Now we're entering phase 3, where large caps pump. In phase 4, the small caps are gonna pump. It's gonna be later on this year in Q4. So, but you can still keep an eye and maybe start allocating a bit. But be patient. I would be mainly be in the big caps like Sol right now. Next, you also have Pengu. Let me bring it up. Pengu here. Pengu chart is super strong, by the way, even already now, even when we are in phase 3. But that's in terms of the memes. You have Pengu, you have Bonk, you have Fortcoin in terms of the memes. And obviously, Pengu is also fundamentals, big fundamentals as well, with the Pudgy Penguin ecosystem. And then, in terms of the DeFi, on top of Sol, you have Radium just now trying to go into bull trend. I mean, if this thing goes into bull trend, we may retry all-time highs quite quickly. Keep an eye on Radium. Then you have Jito with liquid staking, still dead. I wouldn't touch it until it goes into bull trend, but just keep an eye here. Keep an eye a bit. Because it is, so Jito is liquid staking on Solana. Once Solana season really comes for alts, I think it's going to do well. And then you have Drift, also in a bear trend, still almost in a bull trend. I would be waiting for the bull trend to happen before doing anything. Because, I mean, still, it's low momentum still. But this is Perps on Sol. This is the competitor to Hyperliquid. And I think that Hyperliquid will dominate the cycle. The Perps on Solana will not catch up, but in the next cycle, I think they have a chance. And then finally, the other coin is Pump. Pump Fan coin, because Pump Fan is using part of the revenue of the protocol to buy back the coin, which means that if the meme season comes back, if memes come back again, start pumping, you have this mania with memes, the Pump coin will start pumping like never before. Why? Because part of the revenues, it goes into buying back from Pump from the market. So from that perspective, Pump is very well positioned for the meme comeback. And as you know, if you are to trade memes yourself, you need to dedicate a lot of time. It's quite hard. You will likely get wrecked very quickly, and you really need to be professional. I would say you need to be full-time meme trader to make a lot of money, a lot of gains in these small memes. It's very hard. It's very hard. And so instead, keep to big memes if you're just casual, trading a few times per week or per month. If you still want exposure to the meme market, then yes, then it is something like Pump. That would be amazing on Solana. And by the way, another thing, I want to address another thing that I addressed in this stream that got censored. And that's that I've seen sometimes people fighting that, the average hold time of a coin on Solana is like 10 seconds. That, the traders that buy coins on Solana, they hold for just 10 seconds. And that, it somehow is bad. But the thing is, you have so many coins on Solana printing every day because people are taking their chances. Whenever there is some kind of meme, they just start printing all kinds of memes, and the infrastructure can handle it. And there are many traders that trade and experiment with things. So you have a lot of new coins, and the number of new coins is just growing exponentially. Because if you can mint, I can mint. Now more and more people are learning about the blockchain. Obviously, the growth is going to be exponential. But what I don't understand is that people are saying it's bad when the average hold time for a Solana coin is like 10 seconds. Because look at Twitter. What is the average like count for a tweet? It's 0. What is the average view count for a tweet? It's 0. What's the average visit for a website on the internet? It's 0, because everyone in the world is pumping out websites in real time, pumping out tweets in real time, pumping out Facebook. What's the average view count on Facebook posts? 0. So when you have this massive adoption of a tech where anyone can do anything, where it's free for all, anyone can mint, anyone can do website, anyone can do tweet, obviously, the amount of content, websites, coins is infinite. It's infinite. So, of course, by that token, you will have 0 average. But then, obviously, if you zoom in at the most active ones, that's where you see the real numbers. That's where you see the interesting numbers. The adoption of the internet cannot be measured and be bearish based on the average visits per website. I mean, because the average visit per website goes down through time, because you have Facebook, Google, and a few others being the most interesting, the most visits, and then everything else is small. So I hope you get the analogy. It's just another fad, but I like Solana fad. Why? Because it means people don't like it. They're still sidelined, and it's a lot of cash up. They have to play a lot of cash up. Guys, thanks a lot. Smash the like. Have a great weekend. Check out the Bull Mania waitlist if you want the money line, if you want to work together, you want to get our education and all of that. If you want to be educated by me, use the Bull Mania Pro, the waitlist below. And see you very, very soon. Enjoy and have a good weekend. Bye, guys.